Hugh Vail from tomorrowsharvest.com. And we're going to have to take a break here in just a minute or two. Now, how often do you guys rotate your food that you sell? Is it every month, every 6 weeks, every season?
We make all of our orders. We make all of our orders fresh, so we're highly dependent on the farming community to be able to deliver. Again, talking about exposure to disasters. If something were to happen in the farming communities, we couldn't produce food. And but we do that to be as fresh as possible. And we typically run through our entire product line. We're the largest USDA facility in the state of Utah. And we'll typically run through our entire product line in about 4 days, which is a lot of shipments coming in, a lot of shipments going out, and a lot of fresh ingredients in between that we're very reliant on.
Right. Now, there's a caller here, and it's an unlisted number, so you never know what you're going to get here. But let me go ahead and grab this real quick, and then after this caller, we're gonna cut right to our break.
Okay.
Go ahead. You're on.
Hey, Proof. It's Uncle Buck. Good evening.
Hey, long time no talk. Glad you could make it in.
I've been busy doing stuff up in the mountains and enjoying myself, and I'm glad you have this gentleman on. I was wondering two things. Is there free shipping on your food? And if not, can I pick it up with my truck?
You can do both, and I say both because a lot of times we're running specials on shipping. So usually it's best just to contact us, our 1-800 number. You can talk to one of our planners and see if there's a free shipping. If there's not a free shipping special going on, you can come down and pick it up at our facility, which is just outside of Sandy, Utah, just south of Salt Lake.
Oh, sure. I get through there all the time. Okay. Well, that's great because I will be getting some stuff from you. Looking forward to it, and thank you for being a sponsor on Freedomizer.
Yeah, well, for calling in for Freedomizer, let us know that you did that, and of course we'll get you free shipping.
Oh, absolutely, and I drive, I have a small trucking company I drive, and I just wanted to pick some stuff up from them. But what would you say for, let's say, 3 people, a year's supply of food would cost you?
3 people, a year's supply of food, we're going to assume that we're going to, want to eat at least 3 meals a day, correct?
Yes, please.
So, then it's really, and this is what most people, they struggle with, is figuring out how much is it and what is it going to cost me. So that means that we need 9 meals a day for the family, and then, of course, we, do the simple multiplication of multiplying it by 365 days. That means that you're going to need 3,285 meals to ensure that, you and the family are going to be, eating properly and in the amount that you need. 3,200 meals is roughly going to run anywhere between $1.20 to $1.29 a meal, depending on some of the specials we'll be running at the time. So that's going to be in the ballpark of around $2,500 for the whole family to be able to be prepared with meals such as lasagna, beef stroganoff, chicken a la king, Santa Fe black beans and rice.
Right on. I think it's an absolute necessity. There's one of the church groups up there. They're always talking about it. I agree with that particular organization on its food storage ideas. But,
I know that organization well because of the food storage, and they do a great job. They support their members, and they support that belief for a very long time. And what we're also seeing too is a lot of other organizations, including religions, are really starting to understand the value of helping their members, and it's been an exciting thing.
Yeah, no, that's great. Pastor Dowell out of Tennessee, he had a lot of good things to say about, going and doing some buying from, that organization that's out there in his area from Utah, and whether you particularly agree with all the different philosophies or so on and so forth, it's still it's one of the few folks that I constantly hear basically that are telling their people to be preppers. So
that's right.
Yeah, and I'm just I can't wait to get a taste of your guys' food, because I've ordered food from like I've had from a former Marine, MREs, and I they're okay. I don't have any problem with MREs. But would you say your guys' taste better than average?
There are a lot. I've had MREs. There are some good MREs out there. There's a lot of MREs for the most part that they'll get you through the day.
You definitely don't want Sam's Choice MREs.
But our taste is a lot better than MREs.
Great.
And one of the ways that we know that is that all of our meals are distributed through a different marketing arm in REI. These are all the meals that you see in the backpacking section. So when you're going to go hunting, camping, backpacking, doing anything like that, some of the Mountain House brands that can be, familiar to families, we carry their entire lineup. The Backpackers Pantry, the Alpine Air, we've got a huge variety. In fact, every variety of meal that is in that industry, we distribute those as well as our own meals. Again, I was mentioning earlier on the show, we're the largest USDA facility, real freeze-dried meat, putting together our own meals. But we also carry a lot of really popular award-winning brands, too, because we want to deliver the very best we can to the consumer. And these tend to be brands that have been, really proven in the hunting and the backpacking and getting dropped in, and not coming back to civilization from the mountains for weeks on end. And they do really well. We feel like that's a great disaster solution for food storage.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, and I will jump off the air, but thank you very much, and I'll be making a purchase myself, a larger purchase than I I'm a regular listener to Freedomizers, since I've been busy doing some earth bag and rock houses up in the Cascade Mountains next to Idaho, in the northeastern Washington, and kind of preparing for a different lifestyle, which is fine. And look forward to having that on hand.
Awesome. We look forward to helping out. We appreciate you trusting us and calling in. It's been great talking to you.
Hey, Uncle Buck, don't forget we got Lindsey Williams coming up in a little bit.
I'll be listening with big ears.
Thank you so much, Uncle Buck.
Thank you.
All right, Nikki, I see you there, but I'm going to grab my break first, and then when we come back, if you're still around, I'll grab you. So just give me, like Chuck Woolley would say, give me about 2 and 2, and we'll be right back. We're here with Hugh Vail from Tomorrow's Harvest. Back after this.
Hey, Freedomizers, have you started your food storage yet? Are you dehydrating your own organic fruits and vegetables? Proof Negative here is going to tell you to check out dehydrate2store.com, where Tammy is going to show you how to dehydrate your own fruits and vegetables so that you can have the best food storage possible. Why waste money on inferior products when you could do it yourself? Easy. Check out dehydrate2store.com.
Are you wondering about your retirement portfolio? Are you confident your financial advisor is experienced enough to combat climbing interest rates, taxes, and inflation? Stop guessing and go to the expert, Robert Chapman of International Forecaster. When you subscribe to the International Forecaster, you get Robert Chapman's 45 years of experience, concise investment recommendations. Who needs sugar-coated excuses when you can get the hard facts and proven investment leads you can't get anywhere else? Subscribe now for a free introductory copy to Robert Chapman's International Forecaster. Experience the difference. Subscribe now online at the 3Ws.theinternationalforecaster.com. When you subscribe, you can email Robert Chapman directly to obtain tailored investment advice just for you. Don't wait. Get online and subscribe today. The 3Ws.theinternationalforecaster.com.
Be sure to catch me, Val Villano, right here on Freedomizer Radio, Thursday night, 9 to 10 Pacific. Open discussion. And Saturdays, the Nexus, 4 to 6 p.m. after the Sabbath show. We're tying all New World Order to biblical prophecy. Truth is absolute and only found in the pages of the Holy Bible. Let's explore.
Hi folks, CT here. I want to talk to you about a great preparedness resource, tomorrowsharvest.com. Whether it's an economic collapse or nature's fury, there's no feeling more secure than knowing that your loved ones will be well fed. If it's time to bug out or just camping with the family, Tomorrow's Harvest offers high-quality, cost-effective, and long-term smart food storage. Get your free sample. The choices are great. From blueberry pancakes to the cowboy chili, no one else has the meal variety of Tomorrow's Harvest. They also provide other survival necessities. Check out the various packages and customize your meal supply. Remember, there's no reason for fear today when you prepare with Tomorrow's Harvest. Go to www.tomorrowsharvest.com and tell them you're Fruit of Mine.
All right, and on that note, Proof Negative here with Hugh Vail, tomorrowsharvest.com. And Nikki, I'll go ahead and bring you on now. Go ahead.
Hello, Proof. Hello, Hugh.
Hi, Nikki.
How are y'all? It's a beautiful Wednesday, isn't it?
It's been a little windy up here in North Salt Lake, but our high was supposed to be 57 degrees today, and I took lunch, and it was 64 degrees, so I'll take the wind at 64 degrees. That's awesome.
Right? No, I was going to talk to you simply because a lot of people seem to think about, like, the, I guess, extreme nature that we keep talking about. Everything's going to go to hell in a handbasket, I guess, is, you know, an easy way to say it, right? And it may not be that way, but this is not necessarily a bad thing, what you're talking about, because being prepared, you know, it doesn't take, like, nuclear fallout like what we're seeing in Japan necessarily. To bring about the necessity of something simple like this, because, you know, what you're talking about, like $1.25 is what you said per meal?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That in and of itself is just amazing. You can't even get that at most schools nowadays for kids going to school, and it's not like they have much nutrition in their food today.
Well, that's right, and, you know, we have organic lines. We don't have any MSG. We don't use OMGs, no additives, no preservatives. So you're going to get a lot healthier of a meal, and we're able to get that price per serving just because, you know, we're providing families with bulk orders, and because we do such large mass, you know, we can get from the farmers, you know, at really good rates to be able to pass on to the consumer.
See, that in and of itself is awesome. And the simple fact that people think that this is beyond, I guess, what most people could even conceive of, you know, acceptable within their range. But, I mean, we're talking less than what you would do for kids' school lunches. So I think that's pretty amazing in and of itself. But I think the last time you were on, you had talked about the simple fact, like, when you fix it, you automatically freeze dry it, like, right after, like, within, within, like, half an hour after it's cooked or something?
Yeah, so you cook the meal just like you normally would. You know, we have chefs who develop meals, and then we've, you know, got our employees that come in there and take the recipes, they make them, they freeze dry them, and so it's really just kind of a one-step process. One of the hardest parts is that a freeze dryer requires about 36 hours to totally take a home-cooked meal and then, you know, freeze it. So you can think of when you go down the grocery store aisle, let's say you pull peas out of the freezer section, and let's say you open up that bag, you're going to look at those fresh peas, and you're going to see a whole bunch of ice on it. That's what we have to do first. We've got to take that homemade meal, and we've got to freeze it, so you're going to look at it, and it's going to have a whole bunch of ice on it. But the miraculous part of a freeze dryer is that it takes the ice, which is water in a solid form, and it removes the ice without melting the ice.
Nice.
And, you know, that's a process that takes a long time, but it's an immediate step for us. We make the meal, you know, the sooner we can get it to the freeze dryer, the fresher it's going to be. So it's an immediate process to directly answer the question.
No, that's amazing. And, I mean, people don't seem to realize even just the fact of growing your own food, how simple something like that can be when it comes to gaining the control over one's life again. And having something that's done in such a way is, I think, definitely a key in that regard. And did I hear something? That was weird.
Well, I think of when you say gaining control over one's life, respectable people do horrific things when they have to feed themselves, and more importantly, when they have to feed their children. And you don't have to worry about doing that if you're prepared, especially if you've got that food storage, because, the American Red Cross, I believe, is who said that we're only 3 meals away from total chaos. Now, you and I could go 3 meals without no problem if we knew the 4th meal was coming. But a lot of these families, in disasters, don't know when that next meal's coming.
See, I thought that was 3 days, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, 3 meals is what they say.
I think water is the 3-day thing.
Yeah, 3 days without water and we're gone. Goners. But, you look at, and Nikki, you make a really great point about, this doesn't have to be some sky is falling. I personally don't think the sky's ever going to fall. I think we've seen in other countries really bad things. World War II was really difficult. There's horrible things going on in Africa, and there's starvation going on in South America. The best thing, the best value that we get out of life is to be self-reliant. We tend to avoid a lot of problems that could have been avoided by simply being prepared. And I think that means knowing how to suture. I think that means knowing how to, filter water, make a little shelter, a little lean-to tent, just little simple things that can be read in 2 minutes. But, one of the big problems that we also are seeing outside of the natural disaster is with the United States, we know that we have monetized our debt. We know that hyperinflation is en route. We're seeing that currently in the grocery stores. What if simply by purchasing Tomorrow's Harvest food storage, all you're really doing is putting a stop to hyperinflation? You're buying food today at $1.29 so that you can afford it tomorrow when food at the grocery store is astronomical. And let me give you an example. The National Inflation Association, which I love these guys, they're a private, they're in the private sector of business. They're not a...
Yeah, NIA, I always get their emails. So
yeah, so you know what's going on. And, what they are recommending is that every American needs to immediately go and purchase a 6-month supply of non-perishable foods and water. So one of the benefits of Tomorrow's Harvest is that our foods are non-perishable, but, you compare that to a non-perishable thing like a grain of wheat or, a legume of bean, wheat, rice, and beans. We can do stuff with it, but we can do a lot more with lasagna. We can enjoy life a lot better with beef stroganoff, so it's a lot less headache. But one of the reasons, getting to the point, that the National Inflation Association is telling families to go get, store enough food for at least 6 months is because of hyperinflation is going to drive prices, which we saw on the Glenn Beck show, where Glenn Beck pointed out, quoting the NIA, the NIA, is that even a chocolate Hershey's bar could be as much as $15. 24-ounce quart or 1 quart of soy milk will be as much as $24.
Well, we used to take into consideration, well, not anymore, we don't even consider this fact, but back in the day, people used to consider food 20% of their income, went to the price of commodities. which today the price is going up, and in relation to the rest of the dollar is definitely becoming more in a equilibrium compared to the way it used to be, needless to say. And I know it's a little scary for a lot of people to realize. It's like what we consider the price of our homes, right? Usually about a quarter, a third of what you make. It used to be what they would consider necessary for food alone. And it's definitely going back in that direction at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the amount of money that the average American is spending, the percentage that they're spending on their income, of their income on food, is really high right now, higher than it's ever been. Mm-hmm. So if inflation takes off, which all the experts are saying that there's a very good likelihood that it will.
Or is
currently. Yesterday's cheapest, yesterday was the cheapest price on food. Today's the next cheapest price, and tomorrow's the most expensive.
Yeah.
But, here's the thing, is that when it continues to get more expensive, employers can't pay more money. You're going to continue to make your hourly wage or your salary, and food is going to continue to get more expensive. And one of the things that the experts are worried about is what happens when the average American has to make the decision, do I use my money to pay for the heating bill, or do I use my money to pay for the grocery bill? You can kind of see how it would go in a real bad negative direction once we cross that, crucible, so to speak. And getting prepared is have food on hand for that moment.
Right. Anything else tonight, Nikki?
No, that was good. I appreciate your time, and thank you so much for talking to me, Hugh. I greatly appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Nikki.
All right.